Hi guys, I'm Chef Natisha, author of My Modern Indian Kitchen. Today I'm here at the Cramble Studios filming some vegan recipes, which are quite cool. So today guys, I'm going to show you my 5 lentil dal, which I'm really excited about. It's a lentil soup, which is spice. It's got a lovely caramelized tomato and onion base, and it's finished with some crispy kale. So let's get started. So first things first is to get your kale on. So in a baking tray, I'm going to put 2 or 3 nice big handfuls of some kale, which I've washed beforehand. So get your kale, spread it all out, and then coat that in a nice drizzle of vegetable oil, just so it's all nice and coated. Beautiful. And then a nice big pinch of some sea salt. Lovely. And then I'm going to go over that with what I call my Chaat Masala. So Chaat Masala is actually a blend of spices. So in here I've got some black salt, some mango powder, some coriander powder and some cumin powder. So this just adds a really nice tangy, earthy, aromatic note to it. So gently shake it all over guys. Make sure you get every single piece of kale there. Beautiful. And then I'm going to pop that in the oven for about 10 minutes on 180 degrees. Keep checking it, you want it nice and crispy, but don't be afraid to let it crisp up and go a little bit brown around the edges. So now my kale is in the oven and roasting, it's time to start on with the dal base. So this is my dal here, which I've pre-soaked and pre-cooked in advance, just to save some time. In here, I've got a ½ cup of red lentils, splits, ½ cup of CHANNA dal, which is dried split chickpeas, ½ cup of TOOR dal, ½ cup of URAD dal, and ½ cup of MOONG dal. So as you can see guys, lovely blend of lentils there, different colours, different sizes, different properties, but when they cook together they all blend to make a really nice lentil soup base. So I put all of those together, put in 1 litre of boiling water into a pressure cooker and just let it simmer for ½ an hour until it was soft and mashed and just almost like a soup base without the flavouring. So pop those aside and we'll come back to that just in a second. First things first, we need to make a sauce base for that lentil. So for the dal sauce base then, I'm just going to heat up a pan and put in a drizzle of oil. And this guys is what I call a seasoned oil. And it's all about impacting as much flavour as possible into the base, into the oil, because that oil carries through the whole dish. So we'll just warm up some oil. So when your oil's hot guys, go in with your hard woody spices. So I've got 3 pieces of cinnamon stick and 3 cloves. I'm just going to let them sizzle. Okay, so now that those aromatic spices have released their natural oils, I'm going to go in with some cumin seeds. And they just need a few seconds in the hot oil to sizzle. And that's when you can tell it's ready, when you get that whiff of earthy aroma from those cumin seeds. I'm just getting that earthy note come through. Then next I'm going to go in with one of my favourite ingredients, fresh curry leaves. I've got about a small handful here, about 20 large curry leaves. They add such a great flavour to any Indian dish. So they go in. Be careful as it will splatter. Then 1 medium chopped onion. And just stir that onion really well in that seasoned oil. Beautiful. And at this point guys, it's always important to season. So I'm going to go in with ½ a teaspoon of sea salt, a little bit more, and give that a really good stir. Amazing. Right, we're going to bring the heat down, a medium heat, and just let those onions softly fry away. They'll need about a good 5 to 6 minutes. So, kale's roasting, onions are on the go, my dal's already cooked. Next thing is to chop up your tomatoes. So I've got 3 small ones here. Just roughly chop them, no need to be precious, just nice chunks. Okay, so the kale's had about 12 minutes roasting time now, so let's give that a check. Oh wow, That smells absolutely amazing. So 12 minutes roasting time. And that kale has just become so crisp. I don't know whether you can hear that. It's a shame you can't smell it, but those flavors smell so aromatic. Beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is turn the oven off, but put the kale back in there so it just gets a little bit more crisp, but it's flavored as much as I wanted it to be, which is perfect. So those onions have been frying for about 10 minutes now, and they're really buttery and soft and all caramelized and sweet. So that, guys, develops a base flavor, which is great. Next, it's important to build upon that flavor. So we're gonna develop our taste now. We're gonna go in with some fresh sliced green chili. I've got 2 there, which are quite spicy. So you can always add in 1 if you want a bit more heat. Go in with another one. Got some garlic puree. You can make your own, just blitz it down using a food processor, or you can buy it in supermarkets now. Some ginger paste. If you do have fresh ginger, grated ginger at home works just as well. So that's my holy trinity, some garlic, ginger and green chili, which are just made in heaven. They work so well together, they work in harmony. For me personally, I like using all 3 of them at the same time. You don't need to add one before the other. They all take the same amount of time to cook. It just smells so fresh and aromatic already. So just give that 2 minutes to fry along with the onions. So now that the garlic, ginger and green chili have had that 1 minute to fry with the onions, I'm gonna go in with the next level of flavor, which is the spice. So spices add more of a earthy aroma. So here I've got some cumin powder, some coriander powder, some turmeric powder and red chili powder. And that's almost like an aromatic spice blend. They all have different properties. Obviously the turmeric adds color, the chili adds heat, and the cumin and coriander add earthiness. So stir that all in. Just fry those spices for a minute or 2, no longer. You don't want them to burn and go bitter. Wow, that is just transformed immediately. Okay, perfect. So those spices have had a minute or 2 just to fry in that hot oil. They've released their own flavors. I can get that whiff. It smells amazing. So next stage is to build the sauciness, and we're going to do that by using 2 tomatoes, which I've just roughly chopped. Skin, seeds, everything goes in. Mix it really, really well. And give those tomatoes a good 10 minutes, you know, gentle heat just to melt and simmer away. Let everything just work its magic and form that perfect silky sauce base. So the next stage then, once the tomatoes have melted, is to build on the flavour again. So we're going to check the seasoning, 1 for salt, but also for sweetness. Now, tomatoes can be slightly tart at times, so we can help that along by using sugar. So I always use palm sugar when it comes to Indian cuisine, just because it's a bit more caramelised, a bit more depth. Oh God, that's amazing. Right, just a pinch more salt. Oh, that's got a kick. Ooh. Right, a pinch more salt. About a heaped teaspoon of palm sugar, which is like my favourite ingredient right now. Can't get enough of it. Mix all of that in. Oh, amazing. Beautiful. All of those flavours and aromas are working so well right now. And then, guys, I'm a little bit scared to do this because I'm scared I might make a mess. But the next stage is to pour in that lentil base I was telling you about earlier. So, as I mentioned, 5 different types of lentils that have been pressure cooked together with a litre of boiling water and a pinch of turmeric and also 2 cloves of garlic, which just adds a really nice background flavour. So gently pour that in. Beautiful. Waste not, want not. So use every last little bit of ingredient in there. We don't want to waste anything. Fab. And then this is one of my favourite things to do, is just to stir it all in, just change that colour. Oh, amazing. Great, so now I'm just going to give that a final 5 minutes just to simmer together and let those lentils warm up with that sauce base. So the dal has had the final 5 minutes. As you can see, it's come up to a wonderful rolling boil now. So the last ingredient to go in is a magic spice, garam masala. Now garam masala varies from regions of India, it varies from family recipes, but it's what I call a finishing spice. I don't like to cook with garam masala through the middle of a curry or a dish. I like to finish a dish off with it. It's a final seasoning and it just rounds off the dish. And altogether, like, that aroma has changed again. You know, there's another aroma I can smell now. There's a sweetness behind it. It's all coming through. It smells amazing. Beautiful. Right, I'm gonna get the kale out the oven, which should have crisped up beautifully now. And then I think we're ready to serve. So I've just got the kale out the oven. It's lovely and crisp, so now it's time to serve. Now this is messy, guys, so be careful. It will splash. And when you do ladle it, just make sure you get a little bit of everything, you know? If you've got a cardamom pod, maybe leave out the cardamom pods and the cinnamon sticks, but the curry leaves, definitely get those in. And this sort of dish is great, you know, for a winter's day, or when you've had a busy day and you just need something comforting. This is the perfect go-to dish. Okay, so that's my 2 servings, and I'm just going to top that with some crispy garnish of Chaat Masala Kale. And there you have it, guys. That is my vegan plant-based 5 lentil dal, finished off with some Chaat Masala Kale. My kind of dish, perfect for weekends, midweek, when you need a pick-me-up. You know, it is a go-to dish. It's full of goodness and wholesomeness, so try that for yourselves and let me know what you think, as always. Thank you.